Hi! When you sit down with your family and dine, you never know who will bring up the topic of the night. Whether it be an issue at school, something that happened at the grocery store, checkout line, and traffic at work, on the news, media, etc. Dinner table talks can lead to deep conversations, understanding, and sometimes action. Hello, those of you who are new to this hub, welcome. My name is Sumi Masaki, and
My name is Stephanie Diaz.
welcome to Dinner Table Talk. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcast, and check out our most recent episode featuring Tarina Ahuja.
Yeah, that was a pretty sweet episode. And we have an amazing one in store for you today. So, this month, the Sustainable Development Goal focus is reduced inequalities. We've talked about this many times before, and now we're going to bring some nice facts for you, okay, about what reduced inequalities actually is and how to achieve them, right? So, what's the goal here, right? So, I think we need to start off there first. What's the goal here for reduced inequalities? So, reduced inequalities to reduce inequalities within and among nations, right? That's the goal. That's the goal. And there are multiple different things within that goal, which is quite interesting what we learned, in fact, and we'll talk about it in further detail as well. But I feel as though when every individual contributes something, right, when every individual is self-sufficient, then the entire world prospers. And I think that's something really, really beautiful. So to reduce inequalities,
Absolutely.
it's within and among other countries, other nations. So the sustainable development goal is actually so big, so big that it had to be split up because just reducing inequalities is such a broad topic. We need to
Mhm.
go more in depth, right? So me, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm just going to briefly say that targets specify the goals, and indicators represent the metrics by which the world, like on a global level, aims to track whether these targets are achieved. So we're gonna focus today on talking about the target. Is that correct, Stephanie? That's what we're
Yeah.
trying to do here. Briefly mention the
Yes.
10 targets under
Mhm.
the SDG goal number 10, right? And remember, guys, like we have 17 SDGs, but this month in February, the UN is focusing on SDG goal 10. So under
Number
goal
10.
number 10, there's 10 targets and 11 indicators, but today we're just focused on the 10 target goals.
Yeah. And as Sunmi said, the indicators really are just a way to kind of measure how the goal is being reached, right? How the targets are being achieved. So there are 10 targets. We're going to keep saying it again. So everyone can help to make sure that we meet these global goals, right? Please take the time if you'd like. We're not going to force you. We can't force you, but if you'd like, take the time to really dive a little bit deeper. We're going to provide the links to the research because there's actually so much. There's so much. I cannot express this enough. Sunmi knows this. Um, if we ourselves were to go into what each target is specifically and each indicator is, we would be here for hours. I literally mean this. We would be here for hours, and I don't think you guys want that. So, the 10 targets for reduced
Or maybe
inequalities.
they
Let's do it.
do.
Or maybe they do. I don't know. Let us know in the comments,
Maybe
right?
these are
Let
those two.
let us know in the
But you
comments.
don't want,
Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
But what they don't want is me just like always talking over you. So like I did just now. So they want to see more
I think
harmonious
it's okay.
working togetherness. So that's what
We
they
are
don't want to see.
united.
So
We are united. So, all right, let's get into it because we want to make this as short as possible. Let's get into it. Target 10.1, reduce income inequalities. The definition provided by the United Nations is by 2030, progressively achieve and sustain income growth of the bottom 40% of the population at a rate higher than the national average. Target 10.2, promote universal social, economic, and political inclusion. So by 2030, empower and promote the social, economic, and political inclusion of all, irrespective of age, sex, disability, race, ethnicity, origin, religion, that's a lot, or economic status. 10.3, ensure equal opportunities and end discrimination. What does this mean? Ensure equal opportunity and reduce inequalities of outcome, including by eliminating discriminatory laws, policies, and practices, and promoting appropriate legislation, policies, and action in this regard. 10.4, adopt fiscal and social policies that promote equality. Through this, adopt policies, especially fiscal, wage, and social protection policies, and progressively achieve greater equality. And last one from me, target 10.5, improved regulation of global financial markets and institutions. So improve the regulation and monitoring of global financial markets and institutions, and strengthen the implementation of such regulations.
Target 10.6, enhanced representation for developing countries and financial institutions. What this means is to ensure enhanced representation and voice for developing countries in decision making in global international economic and financial institutions in order to deliver more effective, credible, accountable, and legitimate institutions. Target 10.7, responsible and well-managed migration policies. Facilitate orderly, safe, regular, and responsible migration and mobility of people, including through the implementation of planned and well-managed migration policies. And the next three targets will have the letters A, B, C respectively. So this next one is 10.A, special and differential treatment for developing countries. What this means is to implement the principle of special and differential treatment for developing countries, in particular, least developed countries, in accordance with World Trade Organization agreements. 10.B, encourage development assistance and investment in least developed countries. That means encourage official development assistance and financial flows, including foreign direct investment, to states where the need is greatest. In particular, least developed countries such as African countries, small island developing states, and landlocked developing countries, in accordance with their national plans and programs. 10.C, reduce transaction costs for migrant remittances. By 2030, reduce to less than 3% the transaction costs of migrant remittances and eliminate remittance corridors with costs higher than 5%.
Woo! We did it! So we just went over the 10 targets for reduced inequalities. Very heavy topics, of course, that require more research to fully understand them. And we will provide those links for you in the description. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please feel free to check out our Instagram. We have our link tree there that will take you to literally everywhere and anywhere in order for you to get that research and look further into it. And as I said, the topic is so broad, that's why there's these specific targets, right? Targeting reduced inequalities. So you can find something that you're more passionate about. If you're more passionate about reducing income inequalities, research there, start there. If you want to improve migration policies, right, start there. I think all of these points are very special and required to actually achieve something as reduced inequalities. So, you know, why does it matter? Why does it matter? I think that's a good question to start with, right, Simi?
Absolutely. Yeah, tell me,
Why?
why does it matter, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Why should I care about these targets?
Yeah.
Or you're gonna tell me.
I will tell you right now why equality matters. We can all come up with our own opinion and our own conclusion as to why equality matters. And I think that's the beautiful thing about human beings. their ability to freely express themselves. At least I hope, right, that we can get to that place one day in this world where you have the ability and free expression to say whatever it is you'd like to say. But in terms of equality, why does it matter? So inequalities based on, I'll take this from the UN: income, sex, age, disability, race, class, ethnicity, religion, all of the above, right? And the opportunity, the opportunity for these inequalities, they continue to persist across the world and within other nations, and so inequality threatens the long-term social and economic development. Um, they create these situations and instances that really reduce and destroy people's sense of fulfillment and self-worth. So inequality creates this degradation within the environment, actually. So why should we care about inequalities? In today's world, we're all really interconnected. Global inequality really affects all of us. No matter who we are, no matter where we come from, it really does affect all of us. And I think in turn, it really is our responsibility, especially coming from this nation, to really help support that effort in developing the rest of the world and reducing those inequalities, whether it's within this country or within other countries. And as we read from the targets, there's many factors that come into play. And so it really is about everyone putting in their part. Right. So Sunmi, I know you have some ways on how people can get involved and
Absolutely.
and
And
how we can help.
yeah, I just wanted to read this off of one of the brochures that Steph and I were able to read on the PDF, right? It says, we cannot achieve sustainable development if we exclude any part of the world's population. So the point that Stephanie was emphasizing was just, it's hard to think of supporting the global family, thinking beyond yourselves and not excluding anyone, but we got to be all inclusive. So how do we do that? Let me tell you. Okay, so how ways we can get involved. Some of those things include, visiting your local like shelters, your orphanages, or maybe a minority community center. Organize some kind of conversations to take place. Maybe favor companies that are more inclusive or more local. This is maybe a little more obvious one, but raise your voice against any type of discrimination that you may see at school, at the workplace, in public. What else? What else? We can also find a SDG 10 charity type, like, charity that supports this goal and, support it financially if you're able to. And simply try to stay informed about these goals and stay informed about your local news and such. Those are what I
Yeah,
have to say.
yeah, because everyone is equal regardless of anything. Yeah, these are more simple and practical ways to get involved, but I think it starts there. I think it really takes, looking at the life that we live ourselves, right, within our own environment, and really seeing what we can do to contribute to, whether it's at home or at our community or in our community, right? Whether it's calling up local leaders within our community or larger,
Oh,
right? And really taking that first step, taking that action, and ask them, what can I do? What are you doing? Right? What can we do together to really reduce inequalities within our
together.
communities, within our environment? And so, yeah, yeah, do all those things that Sydney said. All
Yeah.
those
And
things.
what you just said. Yeah.
So any final thoughts in me? Any final thoughts on all of this? I know we only touched really the surface of what
Yeah.
all of this means, but it's just the start. I think we definitely don't want to overwhelm anyone, especially in the climate that we're in nowadays. And so it really, yeah, use this as a reflective start,
Tool,
a
start.
reflective
Yeah.
tool, right? But any final thoughts?
I hope that we don't get overwhelmed, Stephanie, from all the research. We feel like we could have done more, or I personally feel like I'm just getting started also. I hope that this platform, again, it's a reminder that, Stephanie and I aren't the ones to solve all these issues. Like, it's just us taking this initiative in our own lives to want to know more and research more and contribute more. And in the process, we are inviting you guys, all of the listeners here, and we hope to kind of generate this synergy for action amongst all of us so that we can all take responsibility together. So I'm just really grateful that people are tuning in and listening to our growth process and the feedback that we got and the ideas that we got from other people, taking action has been really inspiring. Or people who's been inspired by this platform to be like, wait, I have this kind of idea, oh my gosh, and like starting to network, like, yo, shout out to you. And really grateful for you, or people like you guys. So
bouncing off of Simi, thank you. We're so grateful for all the support so far. So yeah, we love you all, and stay tuned, stay connected, or get connected if you haven't yet, because we're doing this for the long run. All right, so next month, which is super, super exciting, we're talking about reduced inequalities this month. Next month is gender equality, so that's a whole nother thing, SDG goal number 5, gender equality. So stay tuned for that. More updates to come. Please follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't. Please listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. There is literally no way that you cannot get connected with us. We hope you have an awesome day, week, wherever you are in the world, tuning into us. And please feel free to reach out to us as well. We'd love to get connected with you. We have some really awesome things cooking up. So I hope they can get connected, right, to me, so they can
email us, message us, DM us.
Thank you all for tuning into this episode of Dinner Table Talk. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Happy February.
All right.
How was that?